What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Off the Bench. I'm here with my two boys, Jimmy, of course. We got a special guest, the myth, the legend, Taylor Savage. Taylor, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, my name is actually Douglas Javon Bartholomew, the ninth. I don't know why he said that, but essentially, I've been good friends with Jimmy and Sonny for a few years now, 2 years or so. I met them. I think I met both of you guys at like a Owl Involved or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe the Breezeway.
I met you in
But
the
we
breezeway just randomly.
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, we've done a lot of things together. I used to run a club at FAU called Sports Discussion and Analysis Club. We had about 150 members, but it was really around 25 to 30 current people, including Sonny and Jimmy. Yeah, now I work as a toll collector, as you can see evidently on the screen. And yeah, I'll pass it back to Sonny.
And Taylor's just a little bit humble. He was the leader of that group that we were in, the club or whatever. He like started this whole group and this friendship, and we wouldn't be here today without that man right there.
Thank you,
And
thank you.
obviously, we got Jimmy, of course. Jimmy's heartbroken over his Knicks. He's
You
kind
know,
of
it is a sad reality for me today. The skies are not orange and blue. So
neither have they ever been. But today
Yeah,
we're going to talk
yeah.
about the NBA Finals, the Indiana Pacers who beat Jimmy and the New York Knicks, and the Thunder. And we have a lot of predictions, a lot of things that we're going to see how they're going to play out. We're going to talk about each team in retrospect, and we're going to go from there, man. So obviously everyone knows the Indiana Pacers beat the New York Knicks in Game 6, and they're set to face the Thunder. I think the first game is Thursday or Friday, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm excited for this. I know everyone keeps talking about ratings. They're going to be low. Ratings are going to be low. Don't buy into none of that. Okay, these are the two teams who made it out and were the deepest teams that we talked about before. I expect a great game, but I don't know if the Indiana Pacers have enough to match what the Thunder have going on. Me and Jimmy, we talked about how great the Thunder are, how deep the Thunder are, and evidently that's going to be the team that always wins the NBA Finals. Every single year, deepest team always wins, and they're actually the best coach team, so that goes a lot into a play. Jimmy, what do you think?
yeah, so for the fans, the casual fans, this matchup is probably a really boring matchup. One that you probably look away, not even notice. For actual basketball fans that enjoy ball, this is probably a very good matchup because it features two teams, 1 through 10, that could feature you know all different types of skill sets on the floor. Both these teams offer. But I really think it ultimately is going to come down to, again, yeah, how the depth is. Because like I said, in prior videos, my philosophy on it is, it's not about your stars in the playoffs. It is truly about your depth and those minutes without your guy there. That's going to determine the game. That's going to determine the outcome. Both teams can deliver, can offer that. So it's going to be a good matchup, and I'm looking forward to it. What do you think, Taylor?
Well, first of all, I'd like to kind of piggyback off of what Sonny originally said about the ratings, things like that. I think it's quite annoying actually how people
Very.
fantasize and like are so hyper fixated on the ratings. Like they have joint bank accounts with the NBA or something. No matter if the ratings do $4 billion or if it does $100, it has no effect on you and I. If the product is good, the product is good. It's the same thing as film. It doesn't matter if a film does $100 or 4 billion. If you think it's a good film, then it's a good film. It is what
Correct.
it is. Relaying back to the actual product of the game, put it simply, Indiana is spectacular. I think since like after the first 25 games of the season was arguably outside of OKC the best team in basketball. They were the best team in the East after those first 25 games, which obviously that's a big portion of the season. But still, they were right there with Cleveland in terms of record after that stretch of games.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, OKC is absolutely eviscerating them. It won't even be remotely close. Um, just to put it simply, since how the NBA has changed, it's very much a weakest link NBA. You know, people love talking about how well they have the best player in the series. They're gonna win the series. That's not the case anymore. We've seen that over and over now, where it depends on just in terms of your core. Let's say you're running an 8-man rotation.
Hmm.
It depends on, like, is one of those guys a very bad defensive liability? Can he be taken advantage on that end of the court? And we've seen over and over again that is the case. Look at Cleveland. Cleveland rosters 2 in their backcourt, very bad defensive players in Mitchell and Garland. There's a reason why they faltered in the postseason, because those guys can be exploited. OKC doesn't have that. OKC's worst defender that gets minutes literally might be SGA, and he's
Might
a
be Isaiah
positive.
Joe.
He's a
Oh,
no. I don't know.
maybe.
Well, I don't know if he consistently gets minutes.
Yeah, true.
If he does, then yes. But it literally might be SGA or Hardenstein,
I agree.
which is crazy because they would probably be the best defender on maybe a few teams in the NBA.
Sure.
But yeah, simplify it, a synopsis of it all. OKC in 5, and I don't know if it's a close 5. I think it's a blowout 5.
I 100% agree. If you look at the games, I know this is small sample size. They only played twice in the regular season, but it's also telling on how like they played against each other. Halliburton struggled in his 2 games against the Thunder. He couldn't get anything open. I looked at the stats earlier, and it was awful to look at. And another thing is, like you talked about how deep their defensive versatility is. Alex Caruso's one of the two to three best perimeter defenders, and he comes off the bench. That right there shows you how great they are versatility wise. And I agree with Taylor. I think this is pretty much Thunder in 5. This was the start of their like dynasty and stuff and winning like championships. Sam Presti's building up a crazy roster over there. He's got 15 more first round picks until 2032, which is I don't even think the Lakers and Knicks have that combined. So it's telling on how like far this team's gonna go, and we're gonna be talking about the Thunder a lot in this podcast.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Good.
I'm gonna go ahead and say something. I'll let the Knicks digs slide. I don't know how much longer I could continue to hear the Knicks slander.
Hey, I'm
No,
NBA champion. I got a
but
ring. I got a
no,
ring,
yeah, yeah,
baby.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're living on the bubble. We're living on the bubble. So, but I'll say this. Like you guys, I actually have the Thunder winning. Also, I'm not with the majority of. I'm with the minority of siding with it's going to be a competitive series. I don't think necessarily the Thunder are just going to blow the brakes. I honestly think the Pacers will shock some people and really push the Thunder. I think the Thunder are also a very young team, right? And inexperienced at that. And you look at the Indiana side of things, and they have multiple seasoned veterans. You got Siakam, Miles Turner's been there for a while. T.J. McConnell, Aaron Nesmith is a seasoned vet. He's been there. He's played with Boston. Um, so, and you got Rick Carlisle, who's one of the best coaches in the NBA, right? And as opposed to Mark Day, I don't know his last. I don't know. I don't want to pronounce his name wrong.
Taking off.
Not saying he's not a good coach. He's a very good, bright young coach. I just Rick Carlisle. What is there more to say about him? So I think it's gonna be a competitive series, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I can agree with that sentiment. Like, I can see why it's not really a testament to Indiana being a bad team or anything like that. It's more of OKC. I mean, we're talking about a team that has the second highest net rating in NBA history outside of the 96, maybe 97 Bulls. They have I think, relative to era, the best defensive rating in the history of basketball. Outside of, I think I want to say it's closer to 71 Bucks. But regardless, the fact that this team is even in conversations with the 96 Bulls, the 2017 Warriors, the 71 Bucks, etc., I think is really a testament to how just far ahead they are about the competition. And I would go as far to say, and this might be really premature, I think it's on the verge of a dynasty. I think we're going to see this team win 2-3 championships in a row. I think they go back next year and win it again.
Mhm.
And I think they potentially go back and win it again. Think about, for a second, how equipped they are to beat the CBA. They have 32 first-round picks until 2031. They have Topic, who's coming into the rotation next year
He
from
hasn't played at
Europe.
all.
And he's like a number 12 overall pick. He's an elite guard creator. He's not really much of a shooter, but downhill, he's phenomenal. They have all of this coming in, and they also have the cap space to still pay those guys.
Max. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this year, I think it would be really shocking if they don't win it. Like, I'm trying to make a comparison. It feels like the Warriors. Like when the Warriors met Cleveland, it was like, oh, well, the KD Warriors. I'm sorry, the KD Warriors. It just felt like it was just so outmatched. Indiana's fantastic, but I don't know if your Nemhards, if your Neesmiths are really going to be there for you against OKC when they're now getting a Dort or a Cason Wallace or a Caruso on them instead of Jalen fucking Brunson and McBride and Josh Hart, who we can talk about Josh Hart right now if you like.
I'm glad. Let's talk about
I
it.
don't want to talk about
That's,
that.
that's a 6'4", that's a 6'4" man that can't shoot the ball, and he's a glass cleaner. He's a 6'4" glass cleaner. He's
Hey, did you see
send that
shot
man to
where he side of
Thailand.
the backboard? He's the side of the whole glass.
I was sitting there laughing the whole game.
There's no words to describe that performance from him. Okay, I don't know. I can't fathom that. But I'll say this. That's a very hot take from you in terms of the Thunder dynasty because we haven't had a repeat winner since I believe
The Warriors.
it's
Yeah,
been
the
eight
KD
years.
Warriors in 17 and 18.
So that's pretty hot. But if there's any team that can make that argument, it would be the Oklahoma City Thunder. So that's interesting.
I don't know.
Time will tell.
I don't know what they don't have. Like if you really think about it, there's teams that are flawed. I mean, Indiana's like third best player is probably your Neesmith, Turner,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and though that's a good player, OKC is top heavy. They're deep, best coach, and they really graduated against Denver. They struggled against Denver, but that was a learning
That was
experience
their
for
toughest
them.
test. That really was their
agree.
toughest test. And back to you guys said about Miles Turner. Quick shout out to Miles Turner. He's been on the Indiana Pacers for 10 years. 7 of those years he was in trade rumors, and now he's in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So I never expected that. I saw that earlier today, and Taylor said the Oklahoma City Thunder's deep, like their bench is so deep. They've got guys on the bench who can start on almost half the rosters in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's how good that bench is. Jimmy, what were you gonna say?
No, it just goes to show you that what's really important in these playoffs and not everybody's going to be 100%, but it's you got to be willing to trust what you have on your team, and it's just very bittersweet for me because I just watched my team not be able to trust their depth. And it's just this is why I've been calling for Tibbs' job. But you know what? I'm not going to say much about it. It's not about the Knicks. This is not about the Knicks. So this is not about the Knicks.
All right, man. All right, and to wrap the video up, I need each one of you guys to give me a hot take that you guys have, and don't give me something like Nikola Jokic is the best player on the planet. I need a hot take.
How about we do like
Hot
three?
takes for this-
Not just one. How about like three?
Okay.
And then we can put it into a clip or something. We go one of that. We'll have one of them that will be clippable.
Okay. And
But I'm passionate about this shit, yeah.
Gradually go up and take.
Yeah. You
Okay.
go first.
Does it have to hold on? Does it have to be a take like a just NBA in general, or about the series, or what is?
Just
Yeah,
make it
like-
NBA in general. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So my first one is Terrence Shannon Jr. from the Minnesota Timberwolves will be an All-Star in 2 years, and I'm sitting on that.
Ooh.
I've seen enough.
Okay.
Oof. That. I don't know if that's so much of a hot take. You gonna put money on that for Terrence Shannon Jr.?
I'm not gonna put money on it, but I'm gonna put my mind on it.
I
you
think
know?
that's a cold. I think that's a very iceberg. I'm freezing. I'm in a blizzard type take. That's
It's
what
a
I'm
take.
getting.
It's a take, ain't it?
Okay, you know what? Hey, you know what? We'll go with it. We'll go with it.
Just
We'll go
you
with
just
it.
wait.
Freddie.
Wait till he gets minutes, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wait, but one I do have a question about it. Are you expecting him to be an All-Star alongside Edwards, or are you expecting him to get traded? Because they do have Dillingham as well, who's going to be in the rotation soon.
He's not NBA material. I don't think Dillingham's NBA ready at all.
So you
And
think? What were
I
you
think
going to say?
Terrence Shannon can be an All-Star alongside
Oh.
Anthony Edwards.
But isn't their offense is just quite redundant? Unless you think one of them's going to play the point, but neither of them are good enough playmakers, especially not Shannon.
Yeah, but you can have no, but like I'm saying, Shannon would be the forward, wouldn't he?
I don't think he's big enough. He's like
No,
6'5".
he's more of a
I seen
guard,
him play a lot of small
more of
forward this year,
more
so
wing. He's
I thought
more.
he'd be like a wing. So I think him and Ant could be like a good pairing, and he'd be an all-star if he's on another team. So let me like rephrase that.
On another team, yeah. I mean, the West is just the West is tough. West,
That's all where all the talent is, man. The talent.
it's a
East
hot
got
take.
talent.
It's a hot take.
It's hot. Yeah, it's hot to take.
Hey, I
Yeah.
believe it. I've seen enough.
All right.
Jimmy, what's your first hot take?
Oh, damn. I gotta have three. I don't know if you can suit this up. I think Cooper Flag coming out of this year. I think Cooper Flag will be on one of the all defensive teams his first season.
That's hot. No, that's hot. That's hot.
I think yeah, that's my take. That's my first take. I really do. I think he's already coming in the NBA at an elite size, right? He's gonna be he's gonna be playing with AD. So I just and there's not a lot. They don't have Kyrie. They're an interesting team, and I think they're gonna feature him obviously a lot. He is their future. They don't have out this. He is their future. So I think they're gonna feature him a lot, and I think he's gonna really step up. I think you probably won't see it initially right off the bat, but I think once he gets comfortable in his first few months, you're gonna see that defensive potential pop off the chart, off the screen.
Okay, yeah. I'll start with one that I don't feel is that high. It's kind of, but not really. I do think that this SGA season is one of the greatest seasons we've seen in the modern era. I really think that the combination of the Western Conference Finals MVP. I predict him to win the championship, Finals MVP, the MVP, led the league in scoring, unbelievably efficient, one of the best offensive engines we've seen, at least in the modern era. Can't speak for like a Jerry West or a fucking Wilt Chamberlain or whatever, but in the modern era, I'm just thinking about it like 2016 Curry, 2013 Braun, 2000 Shaq, if that's considered still in the modern era. You won a Jokic season, whichever one you want. SGA is right up there. Like this season was a masterpiece from him, and that's what makes it so incredible. Though, is because Jokic literally averaged a 30-point triple double on like a 65 true shooting percentage, and lost. So
No, Jokic had probably one of his best year and lost to the MVP. That was
yeah,
crazy. And another hot take coming from your boy Sonny. You guys know the player from Milwaukee, Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Yeah, I
He's
heard of
gonna
him.
he's gonna be
I think
playing for that team right here, the purple and gold.
okay, okay,
He's gonna be
okay.
playing
Get
for
him
that
out of
team.
here.
These are.
Thank you guys for watching.
This has been a great podcast, everybody. Oh man,
Hey, I come in hot, bro. I come in hot.
Lord, that is a hot take.
He did say he wanted all his friends and all his all the European guys to play on a big market, and that right there, that's a big market. Alongside Luka and Giannis, bro. Come on, bro. Jimmy, what about you?
I don't know if this take will be a little biased, but the New York Knickerbockers will win the NBA championship in 2026.
Okay, that's worse than my Giannis one.
Okay, yeah. We can close it up if you like. We.
With Jalen Brunson and Cat on the team, or without?
I am no, they got their first year. Let's do it again. I think they're gonna go all the way. Let's do it. Hot take. Hey, by the way, interesting stat. I don't know if you guys know this. The loser of the ECF the past 3 years went to the finals. Same. Just saying.
Okay.
2023, I think was if I don't want to have it wrong.
Miami probably
Miami.
lost.
2024 Pacers.
Yeah, Pacers, and then
So
the Celtics probably
we're,
lost.
we're lined up. We're
Yeah.
lined up.
Yeah, so that's where that trend ends. Okay, great. It was a nice run. It was a nice run.
Let me have some hope, please. Please.
I don't know if this is like particularly hot, but it's more of a prediction for the next year as well. With how bad the East is going to be, or at least how I project it to be, especially with Tatum now tearing his Achilles, and you don't know how Boston's going to be. They have to move off players in order to get under the cap and not meet that second apron. I think there's a team that comes up. And I think it's Washington. Now, I don't think Washington's going to be some top 4 seed. I do think Washington is on the outskirts of the playoffs, though. Whether it's a 8 seed, 9 seed, and still like make the play-in at least. They are the worst team probably in basketball, I would assume. If I'm blanking anybody, I might be blanking on someone. Oh, Utah. But Washington's really, really bad. Obviously,
They're
I
in
think
Utah
that you're
level.
gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna see some progression. I mean, they have they've stockpiled these picks. You got Bob Carrington, Alexander Sarr. You have these dudes. You put this like what's the word? You're putting effort into these players, obviously, and then they move someone else into their team, whoever it is in the 25 draft. Forget what pick they have. I think it's right outside the top 5. Don't quote me on that. But regardless, I think you're going to see some progressions from these young players. I don't expect them to be as bad. And the East should be, like I said, really bad. Especially if Giannis gets moved. You're going to see some really bad conference play.
Okay. And since everyone has done a prediction, hot take for next year, let's see, what I've been thinking of. I don't know one yet. Jimmy, you go first and I'll come back.
My next hot take was the last one. I'm gonna go with Cade Cunningham being in MVP discussions for next year.
Okay.
That's my
I definitely
final
see
hot
it.
take. I think he's gonna take Detroit to the next level next season. I really do.
I got mine back. I think the Spurs are going to be the number 1 seed next year. I don't know how far they get with that number 1 seed because there's obviously OKC, you got your Lakers of the world, you got your Denver Nuggets of the world, but I
Is
think
this
the
with
Spurs are
Giannis?
going to take.
This is with
I mean,
Giannis.
we'll see. We'll see, man. Whether
Okay.
they'll definitely acquire somebody, and then hopefully I'm hoping they trade that second pick because I don't think they need another guard there. Just kind of mixes things up. They're expected to get Harper, but I think they're gonna be like a top 2 team at least.
Okay. No, that's quite interesting. Could I ask
That
you a
is,
question about
yeah.
that?
Go ahead.
So he asked already about would that be under the impression that Giannis is on the team? And let's say that Giannis is not on the team. What exactly is going to take them from potentially not even being a playoff team, at least roster wise, to the number 1 seed? Is it Wembanyama's progression?
I think Wembanyama's production and him and Fox actually playing a few more games together is like a lot more games together, and Stephon Castle progressing as that third option, and is really gonna help him out. Because I don't think Wemby and Fox did not play a whole bunch of games together this year, and I feel like if they get a whole offseason under their belt, a preseason, and the start of the regular season, I think they can make some noise.
All right. Respect it.
And then I guess for the last thing, I'll try to go even as hot as I possibly can here for something that I feel passionate about.
You are an Orlando Magic super fan.
Yeah, of course. Well, you know what I could say here, and I don't know if I want to say it. Why not? I'll say it. Paolo Banchero is the most overrated player in the NBA. No questions asked. I want you to hear me say it one more time. Paolo Banchero is overrated as shit. His assist-to-turnover ratio is not super impressive, despite people calling him some elite-level playmaker. He's not a great spacer. He's been one of in terms of volume, shoots like 4 3-point attempts a game, shoots like 32%. If that's a spacer, then fuck it, I'm a spacer as well. then call me a spacer. Because genuinely, look at any advanced analytics. His team is better with him off the floor.
Yeah,
Their
I've
offensive and defensive rating, but it's mostly the defensive rating, gets better when he's off the floor. And this goes for playoffs and regular season. True shooting wise, one of the least efficient scorers in all of the game. Yet you're a 6'10 forward. You can get to the rim at will, yet you just shoot contested mid-range shots all game. If I want someone to go do that, I'll just fucking have Harrison Barnes or some shit do that. I'll give Harrison Barnes 20 shots a night. And people are trying to tell me Paolo is just as valuable as a young asset as like Evan Mobley. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Like, people are so moved by PRA in today's league where people look at volume and they're like, oh my god, this guy averaged 38 and 8. Oh my god, he's LeBron James. No, he's not. He's Carmelo Anthony on the Rockets, on the Blazers. I'm sorry. Yes, he can improve. Yes. And if he can get downhill more often and he stops taking contested jump shots, absolutely. And I'll say a bunch of different words about him next year. But his shot selection is so bad, it actually makes me upset. And it makes me want to go as far to say that Franz Wagner is just like clearly the more impactful player. Maybe not more skilled, whatever. He's just more impactful on the game. He really is. I think he's a better passer. He's not as good of a spacer, but so be it. He gets to the rim at will. Better defender. More efficient. They actually are better when he's on the floor. That's how I feel. Fuck Paolo Banchero. Don't clip that part.
Passionate. That is a passionate fan right there.
So if you guys know
Fuck the Orlando Magic.
who's running the Paulo Banchero hater account, it's this guy right here. It's Taylor Savage. He's the guy on Twitter talking shit about Paulo.
I'm on the
I
Burners.
actually have seen a bunch of things regarding that. Like I saw they were like a top 10 offense with Paulo being hurt. I saw all of that. But that's interesting, man. Those are 3 takes from each of us that varied in aggression, how hot they were, biasy. So it's just hot takes that we have, and we appreciate y'all for watching this video. This has been Off the Bench. We're gonna have more videos with Taylor coming up. He loves doing